English with Deck. Where do you call home? Is it the town that you grew up in? Is it the town that you went to university in? Is it a whole different country altogether? Or are you a nomad traveling the open road? Well, uh, whatever you are, wherever you are, perk up an ear and feel free to listen to the wonderful sounds of Deck from Deck English with another fascinating episode of English with Deck. No, no, no. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. Excuse me. Sorry, just let me have a little sip of my tea. 1 second. I had a frog in my throat there. Yes, someone actually asked me this question and it got me thinking. Well, they technically asked, would I return to the UK anytime soon to live permanently? And it did get me thinking, would I, wouldn't I, etc., etc. And, I want to begin by saying, well, I am really proud to be from the UK. There's good, there's bad, I won't lie. There's many but not so positive things, but there are heaps and heaps of positive qualities about the UK. You know, and for the first 21-ish years of my life, it was the only home I knew, Obviously, I lived in different parts of the UK. I definitely experienced many different cultural aspects of it. And it was fascinating. Looking back on it, it really set me up for many, many opportunities throughout my life. And I'm very happy to say that I'm from the UK, But at this point, well, I've lived out of the UK now for years, coming on 10 years now, and wow, that is ridiculous. Wow, 1 second. I need to sit down a bit more. I'm already sitting down, but I need to sit down even more. Oh, I got knocked back in my chair then when I realised. Wow. Anyway, okay, I'm over it. Shock, over. Yes, and I've lived out of the UK for going on 10 years now. And it does make you think, well, obviously I'm British, but where do I call home? And, you know, I think, to be honest, at this point in my life, I call Japan home. Of course, I have a home in the UK, I have family, I have friends, all that. But I do think for this current period of my life, Japan is my home. So that begs the question, would I move back home? Don't get me wrong, I miss the humour, the countryside, the pubs, the accents, my family and friends without a doubt. But would I move back quickly? Probably not. Well, why, you might ask? Well, one reason, of course, is my kids. You know, there's many, many positives to being brought up in the UK, but at the end of the day, where I am living in Japan, and Japan as a whole, for my kids' current ages and situations, I think that Japan is a perfectly adequate place to bring them up. You know, life is a lot calmer here, I do feel, which is surprising, because Japanese culture can be very hectic in many ways. And of course, there's the convenience and the safety, which goes without a doubt. So it's things like that, when for my children, but also for me, further in a wider scope for me, you know, why move back at this point when it's perfectly suitable at this point here? You know, no country is perfect. Japan has its pros and its cons, its pluses, its minuses, and so as does the UK. And honestly, to compare them in such a black and white manner is a little unjust, I feel. I think it's better to look at it from a neutral perspective. Simply because, well, for example, in Japan, the cost of living is cheap. In England, it's pretty high in comparison. However, in England, for example, well, you have, for English language being the main language, it's a global language compared to Japanese. That is a big plus and a bit pro and a con for both places. In Japan, of course, like I just mentioned, you have, on the whole, a pretty damn fine public transport system across the board. And in the UK, the public transport is a bit lacking, to say the least. But on the other side, there's the UK countryside. Japanese countryside is also fantastic, though. So honestly, they're too different to compare fairly, in my opinion. A big one for me is definitely the weather, though. The weather in Japan can be pretty damn harsh. It can be really harsh, actually. But the spring and the summer are fantastic, in my opinion. The summer is brutally hot on some days, but overall, it rains. Well, when it rains, but overall, there's less cloudy and oppressive days, I would say. You know, and then aside onto the more material side of things and more realistic side of things. Well, in the 10 years I've been away, well, 2 of those years were not in Japan, and the rest of it was in Japan, or has been, should I say, in Japan. And because of that, and the age that I came to Japan, up to the age I am now, well, of course, I've built a family, a house, I've got responsibilities here, I've started my own business, I've taken various exams. So I have created a lot of stuff here. And as has my wife, as a team. And my children have as well. So we've put down roots and stuff. Now that doesn't mean we will be here forever. Who knows? Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't think we can say quite yet. But, my idea of where I call home has definitely changed. So am I proud of being British? Oh yes, of course. Do I want to return immediately? Not if I can help it, simply because there is no need to permanently return, that is. So this is a really interesting topic, which I'm sure quite a few of you can also relate to. So honestly, if any of you are long-term or longer-term residents of a country that is away from your home country or your birth country, what is it like? Where are you? How are your opinions changing? How has your outlook on life changed? Have you put down roots and did you end up uprooting yourself? Oh, let us know in the comments. I am dying to know. And also, guys, remember, English doesn't have to be difficult. See you in the next one.